Hey guys, my name is Bryce, and today I'm going to be doing a new video series called Nerf Gun Surgery, where today's feature is the Duyvewaardt Persuader by NERF. And I just want to do a quick little prelude before you start cutting anything, or basically doing anything. That's very important. Set everything down, and you're going to need a few things. Eye protection, you need hearing protection, and you need your first aid kit. Now that this is on hand, let's get started. So today's appointment consists of making an incision in several areas of this, where I'll be sort of trimming off the top piece. These gloves do not fit me very well. I want to try and do a 90-degree cut here and then straight down, just kind of following where all the screw point attachments are. And I might also sort of square this off so I can actually balance this on its point for storage or something. In terms of how I actually handle the Nerf gun, because I have big adult hands that still aren't quite large enough to fit these gloves, I'll be rounding out the inside of where this Nerf gun actually is for the sort of middle finger to be, so I can actually just get a better grip within this little pocket area here. And I'll be rounding over the corners here because they're a little bit pointy for my taste. First, take off the gloves, which make you lose dexterity. Add glasses. Add hearing protection. Turn on the lights. So one thing that's helpful to realize about this is that for most bandsaws, especially when you're cutting through kind of weird materials, it's not always going to follow a straight line. This will actually bend around quite a bit. I'm actually going to map out where I'd like to be cutting. Alright, so let's check in for a second. So what we've done so far is trim the top, and lo and behold, there's actually just more plastic on the inside, so that'll only take a minimal amount of sanding to actually clean it up and make it look nice. And already I'm pretty happy with it. Cosmetically, not too much different, but there's way more options now to add things onto the rail here, which I like. Thanks to this YouTuber here, I actually got to see somebody take apart one of the Persuaders before I went into surgery, which is really important because you have to know, like real medicine and most things, you should probably know what is inside before you cut into it. So fortunately I was only just nicking the barrels, but I knew it was going to be fairly close. So effectively what I ended up doing was I ended up cutting incisions fairly close to the breaking point and then manually breaking it off, because it seemed to sort of favor this one little breaking point that was created as a ridge cosmetically, but actually did me a favor in how to put this in. The reason why I only went up to this point is that if I ended up actually messing around with the hole for the screw here, I could actually lose some structural integrity, and it's already a little bit more shaky now, but I don't want to push my luck any further. Alright, new progress report. So this is all kind of cleaned up now. I've just basically hit it with both a X-Acto blade, which I only keep very short for doing very small cuts along the way. I ended up using my specialized sanding block just to sort of do a rough edge, nice sanding and sort of repeated just to get rid of a few burrs, and then I'm going to keep going over it, but this is like the quickest way to present to you. I'll be going over this in a minute, but kind of the last two things have been getting the heel of the dart launcher to actually balance, which has been, I mean, I don't think this is actually level, which is probably why. It's almost there. The last detail, which is less cosmetic, more because I have large paws basically, is making sure that I can actually fit my hand in here without rubbing up against it. Of course, because it's hollow, you can actually run into the issue of pulling the trigger against your knuckle. Side note, after a brief moment of idiocy and brilliance, I realized, hey, this trigger keeps hitting my knuckle, why don't I actually just trim it with that? So I ended up just taping around it a lot so it'd stay in place the whole time, and just cut through again essentially. Which means I need to sand a few corners and things like that, but ultimately it's something that won't bother me. We now have the Persuader with a large chunk missing from it. The top of this is just sheared right off, and I even added a bit of 400 grit to it just so it's nice and smooth. These as well have been rounded over and then smoothed as well, so it's very, very smooth to the touch. Another modification is actually being able to sit this perfectly in balance on its edge and just be able to grab it. In addition to that, of course, the biggest thing for me was how small the little area was for fingers, and now, hey, I can even have full extension here and, you know, really kind of jam my hand in anyway. There's really no issue anymore. It's perfect. So overall, I'm quite happy with how this turned out, and it really just came down to shaving off a couple things, and I'm ecstatic now. I've loved this NERF blaster beforehand, and now it's just perfectly suits my needs. So I'm excited to see how I can add a little bit more storage to this, and then it's ready to roll for whatever. Thanks for watching today's Nerf gun surgery with today's Doomlands Persuader edition, and I'll see you guys next time.